Okay, talking about control of people in groups, there were some classes at the swimming pool this morning. There was one woman who had no control over her class, absolutely no control. Everyone was saying what they wanted, doing what they want, and this woman she just ended up shouting at the kids, and the kids weren't even listening to her when she was shouting. So
See, for example, I'm okay with my kids because I know my kids and I have a connection, right? I know what they're doing, I know their reactions and everything, and I know what I can tell them. But I've never tried working with other people's kids, and I don't feel comfortable in that position. Okay, well, I did babysitting when I was like 17, but I just don't feel comfortable because I don't know. I feel like when I don't have a relationship with the child, I'm kind of embarrassed. It's weird. But thank you.
Jazzy's brought us a present. What is it, Jazzy? What have you brought us? Three horses, one on top of the other. And on top of the 3 horses is...
a unicorn's head.
It's not a unicorn's head.
It is.
Are you serious? I thought it was a pig's head.
Can I show Dad?
No!
It was a pink unicorn rubber.
Okay. So...
It's wonderful, darling. Thanks.
That's super cool. Thank you very much. So
I think that some people just aren't meant to be working with children. You know, I consider myself.
That fits into the category of people who are doing the wrong job, which is at least 50% of people in society.
I consider myself one of those people because I don't feel comfortable with other people's children. Maybe if I did it, you know. Maybe if I put myself in that situation and worked with other people's children for a year, then I would maybe acquire some kind of... Maybe I would feel more comfortable with the situation. You know, I would kind of get used to it, and I would be more self-confident in the situation.
If you don't want to do it, what is the point? If you don't actually want to do it?
Yeah, I know. There's no point.
There's not much point, you know, forcing.
The point would be just that.
I'm going to force myself to work with kids. It's
just
like, no.
Personal exploration, like when you force yourself to exercise.
You shouldn't have to force yourself. You put yourself in the environment, you see how well you cope with it, and then you live with the consequences of it. So that's it. It doesn't have to be forced.
Yeah, well, what I meant would be to try and see if I would become quite happy in that situation, or if it just wouldn't change ever, right? But I don't think I would cope in a state-run nursery or kindergarten, because I don't know.
State-run anything. No. Look, any teacher who's on the inside of the education system will tell you the same thing. Every single education system in every single country is falling apart. The only way forward is homeschooling. It's the only way.
Even my mom said that.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Which is shocking.
Yeah, I was chatting with someone in the system last week, and they were saying that there's a growing movement towards this as the only solution to problems, as reorganizing the deck chairs on the Titanic doesn't save the people on the ship, basically.
Yeah.
So.
I was solving a problem with one mother came to me on Facebook because she felt that I could maybe help her, and she sent me a message and she asked me about what to do when she didn't know what to do because her kid was not coping with going to the kindergarten, right? He was your, basic usual age when kids go to kindergarten in this country is 3 years old, and she had to go back to work. Right.
Okay. There's 2 questions in my mind already. Number 1, I have no idea what it means to say the kid is when you say the kid is not coping, right? And number 2, why does she have to go back to work?
She have to go back to work because of the finances, because the state stops supporting you when the child reaches age 3. So you've
had 3 years to prepare.
Yes. So she couldn't financially afford not to go back to work.
So she's had 3 years to prepare to financially support herself at home.
And she didn't want to stay at home. She wanted to go back to work. She
didn't want to be with her kid.
She thought, okay, well, all the other kids cope. So she just assumed that her child would be okay there.
So she didn't think about it. Assumption means an automatic process with no real thought.
Yeah, exactly. She was just following the usual pattern.
She was
that
just
you can see everywhere,
doing what everyone else was doing without thinking about it.
Yeah, she just wanted to go back to her job at the age of 3. Of a child.
Problem solved. Okay, next.
It's not solved. It's not solved because she needed to go back to work, and her child didn't like the nursery or the kindergarten. Right? They weren't ready. They're like unhappy, crying, didn't want to go there.
Did she prepare the child for the nursery?
I did not ask because she needed to solve a problem, not for me to make reproaches or anything.
It's not a reproach.
So
it's gathering background data. Is not a reproach.
I didn't find that information important because whether she did or didn't prepare the child, it obviously made no difference because
it obviously
the child
made
had a problem.
Giant bloody difference because she's having to deal with. If you don't understand that present problems are the result of past mistakes, then you never correct what you're doing in the present.
Well, I gave her all the steps. I gave her all the steps that you do when you prepare your child to go to nursery, and I said, go through these steps now.
Okay, so she didn't go through them before.
No.
Well, there you go. That's what I said. Did she prepare the child?
Most likely no. No, because she didn't do the steps.
There you go. Because the problem exists because of something that is invisible.
Yes, but
what was not done is invisible.
But I had to give her the advice now, what she can do now. How can you solve the situation now? When you already have a kid that doesn't want to go to kindergarten, but he has to go to kindergarten. How do you help him cope? Or what do you do?
No, it's the same as our friend who has the father with the heart problem, right?
Mm-hmm. Is it?
Yeah, they have to solve the problem now.
Yeah.
You can't go back like 10 years and not
change the diet, obviously.
Yeah, not eat what you ate and not do the exercise that you didn't do.
Yes, I mean people can realize, okay, I made a mistake, but that doesn't change the fact that I have to deal with a problem that I created and I have to deal with it now. So
yes, but we all know that taking a pill to solve the hangover has nothing to do with a solution to a problem. With a real solution. I mean, you might not have a headache for a couple of hours, but eventually you're going to go out and have another hangover, right? I mean, it's people's problems are the result of bad habits, usually. You can get the odd, unexpected thing that happens, right? But generally problems are the result of bad habits. So that means in order to have a better future, you have to have a lifestyle change. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to change your daily habits if you want anything to improve in the future. There's no one pill solution. There's no one step solution to everything. And I know that people come with, I've got this problem now, I need an answer to it now. But that's the wrong question. They're asking the wrong question. They're looking for the solution in the wrong place.
No,
that's like you just drove her bike into the wall.
No, I think she kicked her foot off the box or something.
Yeah? Oh,
her knee.
I think you're up. Looks like a bit of. I think there's a reason why we have this general rule that the bike is not allowed inside. You make rules and you don't keep them, and the result is that accidents happen. You gotta keep to the set of rules that you allow yourself to have. Anyway, we were talking about the mother and the problems that people want. Instant solutions to the problems that they have now. And to say I've got this problem now and I need this answer now, that's you're looking, you're asking for help, but you're really asking the wrong question. Because if you've got a problem now, you need to ask yourself, what did I not do? What did I not do that I should have done? There are basic questions that we need to explore. You need to understand today, you have to look at yesterday. To understand yesterday, you have to look at the day before. To understand what will happen tomorrow, you have to realize the single biggest predictor of future events is past actions and habits. So you really have to focus on understanding what choices you made. In our Amazing Parenting series, oh my gosh, they're both maybe you can hear the background sounds that they're this happens when the kids feed off each other's energy and they wind each other up. So you've really got to focus. Guys, if you're going to scream, is it possible you could scream in the other room? So, there we go. There's a parenting chaos in the background. So, I mean, I have people who come to me for help with improving their language skills. And some of these people are young and some of these people are older. And for the people who are older, say age 40 to 60, the first thing that is really important to me as a coach, as a mentor, as a tutor, is why do you have this problem now? Why is this important now? What have you been doing for the last 40 or 50 years that this wasn't important then, but it suddenly is important now? If you understand that you learn faster and in a more whole and complete way when you can absorb the information when you're younger, if you understand that, if your parents know that, and I think most averagely intelligent people understand this, why didn't you work on those skills? Why was it not important in the past? Why has it suddenly become important now? It's like trying to correct the learning mistake. It's like trying to unsmoke the 5,000 packets of cigarettes that you smoked in your life. It's just, it's almost impossible to correct past mistakes without looking at lifelong habits and without going into the minutiae of every day, looking at what you do every day, breaking it down, and understanding what new habits are you going to fit into your life every day in order to make the changes you need to see happen.
Anyway, so, I wanted to
welcome back. You've
I decided to feed them.
They're eating crunchy balls.
Crunchy balls, yeah.
Crunchy balls.
Crunchy balls solve all the world's problems.
Yes, if there were more crunchy balls,
there would be no wars.
There wouldn't.
Basically.
There wouldn't. There'd be no sibling fights either. Right.
Anyway, so I was just telling you this story because I wanted to pick your brain to see if you would have any other or any.
I think I have a very good solution to it.
If you would have a solution to the problem that would be a win-win situation for her and her child. Because if she stays home with the kid and is under financial pressure, it's not going to be good for anybody. Because she will not be happy in the situation and will be under immense financial stress.
Yeah, I got a question for you. Where's her husband?
Probably goes to work.
Where is he in solving this problem? He's nowhere. This is a conversation without the husband, right?
So
it's a conversation without the father.
Well, she told me about about the father. She told me that it's him who has the child in the morning, wakes him up because she's already at work at that time, takes them to the kindergarten, and she's the one who picks the child up from the. So
she's got like a night shift, and he's got.
She goes. I imagine she goes to work earlier in the morning and finishes earlier in the afternoon.
He goes to work earlier in the morning and finishes. Yeah, yes, Will, you've... Yes. Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. Right. Thank you. Right. He's figured something out again. Can you ask the question again? Because I was distracted by Will shouting.
I just answered your question. You asked me where the husband was.
Oh, okay. The so. Well, I asked about, does she have a night shift and he have a day shift? Then
she goes to work early in the morning and finishes early in the afternoon. He goes to work later in the morning and finishes later in the afternoon. So what they do is he takes the child to the kindergarten later in the morning, and she picks the child early in the afternoon.
Slow down. I mean, I often find that people are, to make that kind of analogy, people are asking, how do I finish the race? How do I dip across the finish line so I win, right?
I don't understand your analogy.
Okay. 100-meter race, right? 100-meter race. When you get to the 100th meter, you dip and you throw your chest out and you dive across the line to get your chest across the line first. Okay, that's a technique, right? So people are always asking, how do I dip across the line, right?
No.
But yes, that's this situation. That's exactly this situation. They're asking, how do I dip across the line? And I'm saying, whoa. I'm saying, whoa. Backtrack. You got to run 100 meters first.
No, they're
you got to
asking.
get your start right. You're wanting to push a magic button, which is something's going to pop up and give you all the answers to the solution.
No,
when I'm telling you, it's a hard.
For a magic button, G.
Yes.
They are willing to put the hard work into it. Okay. They just want to help the child to cope with the situation.
Can I answer the question, please?
Okay.
Rather than you talking over the top of me and answering your own question, which if you listen back is exactly what you did, right? Right. I'm saying, and I'm using the analogy of the 100 meters, right, that they're asking, how do I dip across the finish line so I win? What I'm saying is that you completely are missing the whole point. Your question is wrong. Your analysis, you're analyzing the wrong part of the race. That part doesn't really matter because all of the problems come from mistakes in the past. Or maybe maybe mistakes is a strong word. Okay, so let's say all of the present problems come from actions that happened in the past. Wait, I'm not finished. Okay, let me finish. All of the problems come from actions that things that were done and were not done in the past. These people have entered a situation that they were not prepared for.
Yes.
And now they're saying, now that we're in a situation that we're not prepared for, how do we solve it?
Yes.
You see, you can't solve that until you understand that the problem is not this situation, the problem is the lack of preparation.
So what kind of practical steps do you suggest for, or what kind of action do you suggest for the parents to take?
Step one, you go back to the birth of the child and you look at the plans that you
go back how? Well, you sit in a time machine.
No, you sit at the kitchen table with a notebook and you talk about the plans and the steps. You look at the plans and the steps that you planned out, and you look at the targets that you hit, and you analyze it, and you decide, okay, how did we not see this problem coming? When should we have realized that a problem might come and we might need to solve it? Because you need to always be thinking forward, right? You always need to be thinking about, if this happens, what next? You don't always have to have the answer, but you have to be ready for the problem, right? It's like a football team, right? Mm-hmm. You can't exactly know where the ball's going to be on the park at every second, right? But you've got your basic strategies, and you're ready to do certain things at certain points in time to give yourself advantages. So you prepare. You prepare. There's always the probability that you put your child in a kindergarten and the child's not going to be comfortable there. You've got to realize that. I mean, that should be, in my opinion, that should be a realization before you even have kids that might happen. To put your child into a kindergarten and think that all is going to be well and there's not going to be any problem is is not a problem with the kindergarten, it's a problem with the thinking. And that goes back to being prepared. So people want to always solve things now. They're always looking for the magic pill. And I understand. I understand. We've got 5 minutes, right? I understand that people have a problem that they need to solve. But I'm saying this problem absolutely cannot be solved until you solve the thinking.
Do it.
Until you solve.
You know where the potty is? Put down your balls. Thank you. Now take your pants off. Shut up. Jazzy, leave it, darling. Take your pants off.
Jazzy, sit on the potty.
And sit on the potty first, okay?
Yeah, she has to protect all her balls.
She has to tidy up.
Okay.
Darling, put them down on the floor. That's it.
Sit on the potty. Move the potty to...
Move the potty a little bit and sit down on it.
Yeah. She's going to do a step back.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, no, never mind. Okay, she'll be okay. Yeah.
Okay. Is she going to be able to sit down there? Okay.
Yeah.
There's commentary on potty training from a distance, right?
Just to make long story short.
Okay.
Make long story short. So
first you've got 60 seconds.
First step that they have to take is to sit down and realize where they made a mistake, right? What's the next step?
Because if you don't understand there was a mistake, you've got nothing to correct.
Yeah, we got it. Second, what's the next step?
The next step is looking at the different possibilities and options regarding their working scenario. Do they want to go to work or do they want to stay at home with the child? Do they want more time with their child or less time with their child? Right? That's the question they need to ask themselves.
It's not about wants, sometimes it's about needs.
Any situation can be altered by the choices that we make. Right. Yeah,
that's true. But if you have to go to work, otherwise your child will be hungry. There's no question. Okay.
Yeah, that's just that's an unfortunate circumstance, but still the result of choices. Mm-hmm. So, you want a step.
Yeah.
Well, the next step is
practical advice.
Practical advice. Well, you collect all the names of all the different kindergartens. You go and visit them personally. It takes time, but that's what you do. You go and visit them personally. You talk to the people there. You never send your children into an environment where you do not know the educators. Mm-hmm. Where you do not know the background of the educators. Mm-hmm. You do not know the religious orientation of the educators. Mm-hmm. You do not know the direction in which they want to take their education, mm-hmm. and you do not have just good references, basically. Mm-hmm. Okay, good references for the place. And then you find out if it is possible for you in some way to, when you find the right place what you think is the right place for your child, to monitor in some way what is happening there. You don't leave your kid there and just leave them to it, right? You want a kindergarten which is happy to have the parents involved in the work of the kindergarten, not a kindergarten that says, we know what's best, don't worry about it, we have a totally parents hands-off approach. No, you want parental involvement within the kindergarten so that the parents know what's happening mm-hmm. there. And look at the type of people who are sending their children to that kindergarten, because mm-hmm. you have to think about who do you want your child to mix with, because if your child's going to spend 4, 5, 6 hours a day with other kids, he's going to pick up their habits, he's going to pick up their language, he or she is going to pick up their habits, their language, their ideas, their philosophies, their psychology. Mm-hmm. So you have to be aware of all the steps in the process, and you also have to realize that there's no absolute guarantee that any of that's going to work. So these are the steps, and you find other people who have done it successfully. Mm-hmm. Find other people who have never take advice from someone who's not been successful with something, right? So find other people who have done it successfully and use them as your guide and your model. Always try and find a model that you'd like to copy. There.
Cool. Okay, thank you for your pieces of brain that you threw at me. I'm going to pass on the information. Yes, as an addition to whatever I told them to do.
Okay, there's one other final little thing, which is I once asked one of my the business people that I work with. I was like, when you're looking for a business partner, what would you look for in companies you want to partner with? And he said something which I've recommended to a lot of people when they're looking for schools for their kids. Look carefully at the environment. Look at the space. Look at the place. Is it decorated nice? Is it colorful? Is it clean and tidy? Is it organized? Is it the kind of place that where the children are going to pick up good habits? Yeah, do they have colorful pictures on the wall? Are they changing things in the environment regularly to keep it fresh and stimulating? Does the inner environment reflect the outer environment, the changing of the seasons and so on? So they just,
Just because that shows you basically that the people who are running the place care about these, care about the detail.
Absolutely. Sometimes people say, "Oh, it's only little details," but I say the devil is in the details.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to look at the details. The devil is in the details there.
Okay, thank you very much for this conversation today. I always enjoy. This is an envision for some reason. I always enjoy these conversations because it gets us talking. I like that. It gets us to discuss things in a respectable manner.
What you mean? We're not throwing things across the kitchen at each other.
Yeah.
Or
this is a bit like
this
is a bit like counselling, isn't it?
Well, why do you think we're doing this?
Anyway,
because somebody's thought about it before and has put these mechanisms in place.
I wonder who it could have been. It must have been Jasmine. Anyway, yeah.
Nothing happens by accident. Everything is the result. Everything good is the result of careful planning.